I am recording. It looks like I am recording. Still got the adrenaline pumping from that Doom session.
Good evening, Drew.
Hey, Paul Baylor, how we doing?
Oh, I'm so spectacular. I can hardly stand myself. How are you doing? Yeah.
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Had a day off from work. Felt pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Took a couple days off. I just needed to decompress a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. And I took today, I took tomorrow, which is Friday, off. I don't plan on doing a whole heck of a lot. So, yeah. I don't know. What's new with you? How's your week?
Week's been fine. I'm like so incredibly sleep deprived. My whole body's like shutting down, so that's really fun.
All right. Well, why are you sleep deprived?
Part of it's just, who knows, right? Human body doesn't want to sleep. Last night in particular was with the storm kind of rushing through. I had a little doggy who was having a panic attack, so I was up with her for quite some time trying to get her to calm down to sleep. So
yeah, we've had some bad storms move through.
Yeah.
The last few nights actually.
Yeah.
Springtime in Ohio, right?
Turns out.
Yeah, and we had a really bad downpour earlier this week, like in the weekend, where just absolutely deluged with a storm overnight, hail and everything, and then we had the storm last night, and my dog doesn't necessarily do too well with them either. So yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure you're getting your rest. So
hopefully tonight will be the night I get some nice sleep, and then once I get to Saturday, I can sleep in. So sleep.
I mean, have you been keeping to your regular sleep schedule, like for work and everything?
I've been trying to. Yeah. One of the rough things is I'm kind of like really sensitive to noise when I'm trying to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely the first one going to bed because this is my wife's spring break and my kids, they like to stay up late and play the video game. So,
sure.
Sometimes it's hard for me to get to sleep because they're up and doing stuff. But I don't want to complain. But
mm-hmm. You're allowed to complain. It's okay to complain.
Okay, apparently I'm complaining right now.
Yeah, so thanks for peeking your head in on the stream there. What'd you think?
Yeah, I popped in maybe a little after about 8:15, 8:20 or so. Mm-hmm. I figured might as well. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
How was the so give me a breakdown on the quality, because I really haven't been able to experience it myself. So is it good?
It was really, really good. I was really impressed with how smooth it was, considering how twitchy that game is. Mm-hmm. I was kind of afraid that I'd be a little, the frames would start dropping and I'd get a little nauseous, a little motion sickness, but it did not happen. I think a couple times it kind of dropped the quality down, but only for like a split second. And I'm sure that was just Twitch being Twitch. So,
okay.
But everything stayed real smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let me pull that up right now. So I think I talked last time about how I've got the dedicated encoding PC now to handle all this. Mm-hmm. And, what's interesting is I can actually see the streaming software actually shows me if I drop frames. Now, I don't really know what that means. Okay. I don't know if that means that it couldn't keep up with things or if it was a network issue. I think it can mean a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it shows me like the bit rate that's going up and everything. That last stream doesn't look like it dropped anything. So I don't know. It could just be Twitch being Twitch.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty cool. Like I've got that dedicated PC that is handling all of the encoding and the transmission of it up to Twitch or wherever I decide to stream. The software I'm using also has like this multi-stream capability, so like I might try to like do a dual stream to YouTube and to Twitch at the same time.
Oh,
I don't know what that'll do to my network bandwidth. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what that'll do. But I want to give it a shot at some point. But I'm glad you were able to hop in and see it because, it's just like I said, something I've been doing. I actually streamed in the middle of the day today, too. I was actually doing some Python programming live.
Yeah, I saw those notifications come through, but I was in the middle of stuff. I had a pretty rich, full day. So,
okay. All right. Well, what do you say we give some quarantine updates? Things we're doing, things we're not doing.
Yeah.
Any big updates for you? Because I feel like we're pretty steady state right now.
The only real kind of update that I have is before all of this, my wife, she's a shopper. She likes going shopping, to retail stores and going around, and she hasn't got to do that. So hold on, let me see. Hold on, let's see if I can find out. She has started this binge of Amazon subscribe and save orders. Yeah, let's see. How much do we got now? Okay. Okay, no, we're only at 1, 2, 3. That doesn't seem right. 4, 5. I thought she ordered more. Yeah, she's basically just been like binge shopping on Amazon, and she's buying like food and subscribing to stuff we need, like dog food and gummies and stuff like that. But it's kind of funny to see her kind of replace her retail shopping with with Amazon.
Yeah, we miss our retail excursions in this house too.
Yeah.
So gummy bears, huh?
Yeah. I would say the kids like them, but I also like them too. I'll drop a link in the show notes. These are they're Black Forest Fruit Snacks Juicy Bursts mixed fruit. So they kind of have a Gushers technology built in.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why don't you go give me that link right now?
I'm gonna,
yeah, don't make me wait. I feel like this is something I need. All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Let me follow this link here. Gushers technology.
Yeah.
Black Forest Juicy Burst.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you can tell they're juicy because they're squirting.
Yeah.
Box. All right.
Yeah, that apple looks a little sweaty.
Yeah, it does. Colors from real sources. Like, what does that mean? Oh, show title. I'm sure they get their color from real sources. I'm sure they get their color from real sources. All right.
I'm sorry.
I'm having a lot of fun with this box.
Oh,
there's a show title. I'm sure. Oh, man, they're flying fast and furious tonight, boys. I'm sure they'll... What did I say? I'm sure they'll
have fun with this box.
I'm sure they'll have fun with this box. With that box. All right. I'm sure having fun with that box. How much are these a box? $5?
Yeah, $6 for
40 pouches?
Mm-hmm.
For $6? Yeah. Oh, you have to subscribe, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 30. Okay. Oh my God! It's
only 30 cents more for the.
You're telling me that I can get diabetes for the low price of $5.96.
They're terrific too. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'm looking at the picture. I'm looking at the pictures in. Oh, look what they did here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this picture. They got the picture in like the little fruit baskets. How dare you? How dare you, Amazon?
Actually, I'm going to save that picture. I'm going to make sure that's the album art for.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Real juice with an asterisk equals real delicious. So juicy, so good. I mean, same energy. Liquid filled centers. I have to try these.
They are really good.
All right, add to cart. You got me.
And you can pretend you're not eating candy. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, okay, I'm in a bad spot right now. I'm actually struggling a little bit, and I'm glad that I took these 2 days off. So, like, my update is, I've been trying to do home workouts, and the gym I belong to has been posting a lot of different workouts and things that we can do, and I was doing the running workouts, and I sort of really hurt my foot. So I haven't been able to do, like, anything. Like, the pain was, like, really unbearable. And back when I was like training for my marathon way back when, or running like 5Ks and 10Ks and half marathons and things, like I know what plantar fasciitis feels like.
What is that for us normies?
It's like muscle tightness in like it could be in your shins, could be in your calves, could be in your feet. I think it can happen a lot of different places just because those muscles like get really, really tight and you need to stretch them out. So I've had that before, and that's really painful. But this, honest to God, felt like I either damaged a tendon or I had a stress fracture because I couldn't put any weight on my foot, like none. And yeah, it just wasn't great. I was trying to remember.
And now it's not a good time to, go to the doctor or hospital for, for any reasons. Yeah.
No. And like, I don't really know what they would have done for this particular thing. I don't really know what they would have done for me for this situation. But of course, you're right. I can't really go to the doctor for it. I mean, it's basically, I have some old expired OxyContin that I took because, I like to fly.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah. So I took some of that. Wow, I can't get these fruit snacks until the April 19th. That's unfortunate.
I mean, it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Is it really worth the wait?
Oh, they're good. I think, when are ours coming? Hold on.
Delivery times. Okay, now see, sometimes. Okay, Amazon's been a bit of a liar too. I feel like it'll show up. I feel like it'll show up this weekend.
Yeah, ours is scheduled to arrive Thursday, April 16th, but everything has been at least like a few days earlier than they've said. All so right. I'm guessing, I'm sure they're giving us the worst case scenario.
All right, $6 I'm in. Anyway, yeah, so that's placed. Yeah, so I'm going to try to let my foot heal up a little bit more, and then I'm going to try to get back to doing stretching or some sort of movement. My gymnastics club has been meeting virtually, and we've been doing like stretching and mobility work. I didn't get to do the one Wednesday because I was working a little later to kind of get things squared away for my time off. But yeah, it just sucks to have to be injured right now because there's just not a lot of things you can do, and my workouts, especially my running workouts, were basically my excuse to leave the house, and not being able to do that has been pretty shitty, to be honest. It's been real bad. Yeah, I'm hoping that it kind of goes away pretty soon, and then that'll be done.
I hope it feels better soon.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I've got a lot of topics on the dock this week, so we're gonna put mine on hold for now. I want to talk about something you put in the dock here. What is this?
Okay, so there's a new podcast that came out. It came out April 4th. And if you follow me on Twitter, I was super excited. I was retweeting everything. And there's a good reason for this. So one of the most, and I think I've kind of forgot to talk about this one when we talked about our favorite podcasts of all time. There was a podcast. It was out, let's see, kind of it was 2009 to 2013. It was really irregular, but it was called You Look Nice Today. It claims to be a journal of emotional hygiene, and the hosts were Adam, Lisa Gore, Scott Simpson, and Merlin Mann. And they did a little over 50 episodes, 51. And they were just some of the funniest, most well-edited podcasts that I have ever experienced. It was just joke after joke after joke, just extremely funny stuff. Well, they've reunited, and they've started a podcast in the spirit of You Look Nice Today called California King. You can find it at californiaking.org. They have one episode out. And it was hilarious. It was relevant. And I super, super enjoyed it. So I recommend everybody go check out the podcast California King. There'll be a link in the show notes. It's really, really good.
So this is a new podcast then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it's the same host. It's a new podcast, new feed, new site, but from the three the original You Look Nice Today hosts. So, yeah. Okay. And again, it's super funny. It's extremely well edited. It's super tight. There's not a lot of fluff. It's 37 minutes and it just goes. It's really good. I highly recommend everybody checking it out.
I mean, you introduced me to the Merlin cinematic universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that has introduced me to so many good podcasts that Merlin Mann is a part of, from the always show favorite Do by Friday to Roderick on the Line to Reconcilable Differences, which leads you into the ATP sphere of things. Like you could do an interesting like little mind map of kind of my podcast by the germs you've put it in my brain with some of these different hosts. So I'm definitely going to give this a listen. I know that my wife will probably be all over this too because she's super gay for Merlin Man. Super gay.
Yeah,
that's not a good thing to say. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's a terrific internet personality. He's a great podcaster. He's super funny, super clever,
funny.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and saying he's probably the least funny person on this podcast. So it just really tells you the yeah.
Yeah. Now, so what's interesting is I haven't listened to some of the other Merlin Man podcasts. Like, I never got into Back to Work, and I never got into You Look Nice Today. So I haven't listened to those old podcasts that he's been on. But I know that you've talked about You Look Nice Today before.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Again, it's like 51 episodes. And they were super irregular. Like, they were just all over the place. Like, every like there was no schedule, which is like, oh look, a new one. But yeah, this is really good. I used to listen to Back to Work, but I haven't because I don't need more productivity tips. Even though he's not really doing that anymore, it still feels like that's kind of the point of the show to a degree. But like Rec Diffs and Do by Friday are just spectacular shows. So. Yeah, I just want to give the shout out. It's a really good show. It's exactly what I didn't know I needed for this quarantine. But yeah, CaliforniaKing.org. Check it out.
Now, are they going to be on a schedule? Like, do they have a day?
Who knows? Okay. I mean, if their past has been any indication, no, absolutely not.
All right, I'll have to give that a listen. That is now subscribed on my podcast app of choice. All right. I want to bring this topic back yet again because I feel like the honeymoon period is over on these PCs that I built with these custom water cooling.
The honeymoon period is over?
Yeah.
Does that mean we're having some troubles?
I don't know if I'm necessarily having trouble, but Okay, so here's what happened. When you're a PC gaming enthusiast like me and you spend all of this money on building your computer, you have skin in the game to make sure that it's always performing optimally. If you're going to drop $3,000-$4,000 on components and custom cooling and lighting and all these other things, you want to make sure that you're getting the most for your money. Now, this isn't like a hard thing to monitor, right? So there's monitoring overall system health and performance, making sure that you're getting massive amounts of frames and memory usage, that you're basically using the cores that you bought. You want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your performance. And if something isn't necessarily performing well, you want to know why. And the other part of this is making sure that you're always up to date on things like drivers and firmware and BIOS additions and things like that. Mm-hmm. So here's what happened that kind of set me over the edge Monday. So the motherboard that I'm using right now on my gaming PC, if you'll recall, I had that Ryzen 3950X that I had to RMA. And when I was in the process of RMAing that, the original motherboard that I have that has my Ryzen 3900 in it has a custom water block on it. And when I originally swapped everything out, I did not take this apart because it's a huge pain in the ass to take apart. So right now in my case is my original Ryzen 3900 with my custom water block that is designed for this particular motherboard. Now this particular motherboard has a really nice, what I consider to be a nice feature, in that when it's booting, there is a little series of digital LEDs that are alphanumeric. And as the computer is going through its post or booting up, those things kind of flicker. And if for any reason it can't boot, it gives you a 2-digit error code, alphanumeric. It's actually hex.
Okay, that's
so
handy.
So it's like A through E or A through F or however hexadecimal works, 0 through 9. So you get those little digital readouts. And then after the computer boots, you can control what that LED shows. And typically what I was having it show was CPU temperature. So at any given time, I could glance over at my case, I could look at my digital readout and see what my CPU temperature was. I could see it, fluctuate anywhere from like 35 degrees at idle to 65 degrees under heavy gaming load, right?
Okay.
So there was a BIOS update for my motherboard that came out middle of the month, middle of March, and I was holding off installing it. I was waiting to see if there's any feedback on it, because obviously BIOS updates can go one of two ways for you. They could either solve problems or cause problems. Well, I updated my BIOS Monday, and it caused me a bunch of problems. So what happened was I did the BIOS flash, and everything performance-wise in my PC, totally fine. No problems whatsoever. But what I'm noticing now is that little temperature thing, or the LED that usually shows the temperature, isn't showing the CPU temperature anymore. It's now showing the motherboard temperature, and it's not
That's
configurable.
Different.
Yeah. And it's not configurable. It's not like there's a drop down anywhere that you can go and set, oh yeah, I want that to be the CPU temperature, or I want it to be the VRM temperature or the motherboard temperature. It appears to be hard locked to the motherboard temperature. And the reason I know this is when I didn't see that number moving the way it used to move, I fired up some monitoring software, and my computer under heavy load gets up to about 72 to 75 degrees C, even with a custom water cooling loop, which, if I'm honest, is kind of high. I don't expect it to get that hot with the volume of liquid that I'm moving through this thing. So that kind of got me thinking, is there a problem with my water cooling loop? So I started, this one problem led to another problem, and I'm just wondering, if there's something I should be doing different to get those temperatures down, and I don't really know what the answer is. And here's the rub, and here's why I bring this up, and I'm complaining about something that is literally like the 1% of PC gaming, but if I want to take this thing apart and do any kind of maintenance on it, I'm stuck, because there are charged lines full of orange liquid flowing through various components in my system.
You'd have to drain all that before you start it.
I've had to do this numerous times throughout this process, right?
Right.
And nothing's broken and nothing isn't working, right? But the OCD part of me wants to be like, well, maybe I should tear this thing down and investigate, but I have to show a little bit of restraint as to why, and I'm just really upset that temperature doesn't show me CPU temperature anymore. So anyway, long story short, I've decided that my next computer upgrade, I will probably not do custom water cooling. And when I was going through all this troubleshooting last time, I almost didn't go back to it. But see, I'm kind of stuck right now. Because I've converted my really expensive graphics card to be water cooled, there's always going to be, until I upgrade my graphics card, which, if I'm honest, I kind of have the top of the line right now. There's really no reason for me to upgrade yet. Assuming that electronic shipments from overseas resume at a reasonable pace sometime soon. There's rumors of the next generation of graphics cards coming out this fall. So I'm kind of stuck with a custom loop in one form or another until those new graphics cards launch. So assuming that I don't upgrade my PC until the fall, when I do, I will probably not do custom water cooling loops again. It was fun. I did it. I can say I did it. It has shown me to be a benefit. Is it an ultimate benefit? I think that the biggest benefit that I've seen in doing this has been cooler graphics cards temperatures and quieter PC operation. I think that is the only benefit that I've seen. From a CPU cooling perspective, I don't necessarily know if I've gotten the huge benefit that I was hoping for.
You think you could get the same kind of benefit from off the shelf?
I do.
Closed loop solutions.
I feel like if I just went back to an all-in-one cooler for my CPU, I could get close to the same performance, maybe a few degrees higher. The graphics card, though, I'm not so sure. The graphics card performance has been really good because the liquid is coming directly out of the graphics card, and then from the graphics card into the CPU, out to the CPU, through the radiators, and then back to the reservoir. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I at this point I don't think I'm going to do it again.
Just too much hassle.
Too much hassle. I did it. I feel it's one of those things I can say I did, but I don't think that when it's time to build the next generation PC, I will do it again. So that's my update.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that I'm going to do it again. So that's my confession tonight.
Well,
So.
that's very mature.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, real quick, during this time, and I know you're a super busy guy at work and everything, but have you been doing anything to keep your skills sharp? Have you been learning anything new?
I really haven't. There's some things I really want to get my hands on and dive deeper into, but no, like I've been really trying to get my work hours in and then like really turn off and relax to kind of keep the stress levels down and stuff like that. And works, hashtag middle management, man. I've got emails to send and meetings to coordinate and tickets to assign and plenty of that. And we're gearing up for a big milestone here at the end of the month. So I've been real busy, but I'm hoping that things kind of slow down and I get some training time in for myself. Now, what about you?
Yeah, so, man, I'll tell you, I mean, working where I work, it's literally drinking from the fire hose and trying to keep up on all the announcements and all the new stuff that's either out or coming or everything has been challenging. And I think, I've been trying to expand my horizons more and more and solve different data challenges. So, like today when I was doing that Python stream, I'm basically trying to write an end-to-end pipeline that gets data either from APIs or flat files or whatever, runs in a container, runs automatically, scans directories for files changes, and then loads data, gets data from APIs, and then writes that data to some sort of database. I kind of want it to not be SQL Server just because I want to try something different. And then as that data is written there, writing a Power BI dashboard that pulls all that stuff back. It's just part of like a skills up initiative that's going on in our work group right now, because with things being as they are and some work slowing down and some work not, we've had a chance to just try different things. And we have a group in our team that is kind of responsible for pushing people a little bit to try to learn new things.
Okay.
So that's been pretty cool, and I've just been playing around with that. And it's all stuff that I know how to do, but it's actually kind of like a little mini project, and everybody's doing their own work, and there's a $50 Amazon gift card on the line, so I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we get that time to do things like that. So I'm going to give that a shot and keep working on that. But that's kind of my thing.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. So D&D tomorrow, right?
You are correct.
Yep. Everybody's still in.
Yeah.
Nobody's died yet.
Not yet. D&D has this notion of what they call it's called challenge rating. So like D&D, like the players, they the typical nerdy fashion, they level up, right? So, a level 2 character is more powerful than a level 3 character and so on and so forth. And I think you guys are at level 4 now? Yes, level 4. So, D&D has this notion of, for their monsters, called challenge rating. And what the idea is that, say you have a challenge rating 4 monster, that should be not a deadly, but a good encounter for 4 characters of that same level, right? So 4 level characters. Mm-hmm. The thing is that everyone kind of just agrees that the challenge rating system is just broken. It's really not a good indicator of difficulty. Some monsters are just more difficult. Some characters are stronger than others. Doesn't really take into the tactical mindset of the players as well. Some players they play combat very tactically and think about the strategy and really, bring that stuff to bear. So, last session in particular was kind of a feeling out to kind of see, how tough the party was and whether I could get them a difficult, a challenging encounter that, maybe wasn't deadly, but felt deadly to the players, felt like they were just on the cusp of survival. And I think I came close.
Yeah, so tell everybody what happened.
So, if you're ever going to play Curse of Strahd, spoiler alert. So, just skip ahead to the next chapter. The party just kind of got into the meat of the campaign and got to like the first real like settlement in the land of Barovia, and they encountered a priest who was basically hiding his son in the basement, and his son had been turned into a vampire spawn. And so just so everyone knows, I think at the time the you guys were 3rd level going into that fight.
Yes.
And that was a challenge rating 5 monster. So I was just kind of curious to see how the fight would go, or whether they would fight it at all, right? Because you could just been like, you got your son in the basement. That's nice. And carried on. But no, the parties decided that, nope, we're going to go. Well, one member of the party in particular was like, nope, I'm going to go down and murder the vampire. And yeah.
That's the thing that happened.
That was the thing that happened. So I took the opportunity to kind of push at the party to see how strong they were. So I kind of get a feeling for how I kind of have to scale up encounters or, not hold back. Now, obviously, as a game master, I have the ultimate power of lying on my dice rolls. So I can always bring that to bear. But, generally speaking, I've been trying to roll at least my 2-hit rolls in the open. I've been keeping damage rolls secret so I can, fib about those. But, it was a good encounter. It was fun. One thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow night is, obviously we're using Roll20 for, our virtual tabletop, and like, it's really good, but it's also like, it's equal measures of, wow, that's really impressive, and wow, that's really janky. Like
True.
It just is. And sometimes there's some pretty big performance issues. But they just recently came out with an update that they pushed out. They call it a new light, and it's their updated dynamic lighting system, and it's supposed to have a pretty significant performance boost.
Okay.
To the tabletop and the maps, and also has some new features around vision and lighting that I'm going to play around with a little bit before our session tomorrow to kind of see how things will go. But I'm mostly excited about the performance updates to kind of see how that goes. So I'm going to enable all that stuff on our maps tomorrow and see how it goes. Yeah.
So, back when I was doing some GM stuff, I was thinking about our campaign that we're currently playing, and, the team has definitely gelled a little bit. I think everybody kind of knows who everybody is and what they're about.
Yeah, some personalities are evolving with the characters, which I'm really enjoying. So
yeah. That's my favorite part of it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
One thing that I liked to do in my campaigns, and I don't necessarily know if this is something that is going to happen in yours or if this is something you've ever done. Have you ever split the party up? Not just in session, but basically had sessions just with 1 or 2 party members, and then have a separate session without basically nobody knows. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you just cold open on the next session with things that have happened and nobody knows what's really going on. Somebody comes flying through a window or something, or somebody's got it their arm in a sling, or
it's always something. I have thought about doing something like that as well. I'm a little worried about how hard it would be to pull off, and can you bring the party back together in a way that doesn't feel railroady for the people playing. But yeah, and like my other D&D group that I played in before, and now it's kind of on hiatus because gestures and everything. We have a very strict rule of don't split the party, only because we did it very early on and nearly got ourselves murdered. So we're like, no, we're all sticking together.
Gotcha.
But I always thought like a game like Shadowrun or Cyberpunk, that kind of hey, we're doing crimes. I always thought that would be a kind of a game. I think that would be kind of interesting to maybe have two different groups doing something else, then surprise, hey, they're at the same place at the same time. And yeah, I'm just afraid that it would, that is definitely game mastering hard mode.
Oh, it is. It's very difficult to pull off. No question about that. But it can be pretty fascinating if it works. Mm-hmm. It can be pretty neat.
Yeah.
So. All right, so let me ask you, and not trying to do any spoilers here.
Okay.
How many sessions is something like this? Like how much longer do you think it goes on?
All right, I can give you a good indication of that here. Hold on, let me go. I definitely feel that Roll20 is kind of slowing down some things, so I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to kind of speed up some of the combats. Let's see. Let's open up Curse of Strahd. So Curse of Strahd is 15 chapters.
Huh.
The first chapter is kind of just introduction. The second chapter kind of is a collection of smaller little like mini encounters, and then the rest of the chapters are locations. So the village of Barovia, where you're at, that was chapter 3. You guys will probably be working through either chapter 5 or chapter 6 next session. Maybe both, maybe parts of one, all of the other. That's where when you guys get to the next major milestone, that's where the game really opens up and gives the players lots of different opportunities and places to go. So that's a really fun part. Like I said, when I played it, we just missed big parts of the game. Like just didn't do it. We got what we needed, and then like we're gonna go raid the castle, and that's what we did. 2 of the chapters are big, very, what you would consider dungeons, right? Just big multi-level, multi-room, exploration fests.
Yeah, traditional dungeon crawl type stuff.
Yes. So, I mean, there's quite a few sessions left in here. I think when I played, we only played like once a month, and I think it took us the better part of 11 sessions to get through everything, but we played for considerably longer than we started earlier and then went comically late sometimes. Yeah, so it's a pretty meaty campaign. Yeah, it's hard to tell because we're playing about maybe 3.5. Well, probably by the time everyone gets settled and gets focused and gets going, we're probably playing about 3 hours a night, but we're playing every week. So, this probably will last us, at least a couple more months before we're done.
Yeah, and I'm having a blast, right? And like,
good, I'm glad.
Given that we start between 8 and 8:30, I'm usually good for about 3 hours of it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, and this is a credit to you being a good GM, is like you keep the energy level pretty high. Everybody's having a blast. Everybody's laughing. But I got to be honest, it's still just not the same as sitting around a table bullshitting each other, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still. I mean, it's D&D. I mean, the mechanics are there. We're playing characters, right? But I can't like wink at people, or I can't be demonstrative or anything like that around people. And it can be hard knowing when to like jump in and say something and trying to manage people remote. Maybe if we were on webcams, maybe it'd be different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's an option. We can Roll20 does support like integrated.
No.
So yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I don't know what it takes to get a multi-people video through Discord or something else, but that's something we can talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be fun.
That is one of the difficulty when you don't see people. You're not picking up on those social cues about when someone's ready to talk. So like you're like either A, you're stomping on somebody, or B, you're apprehensive, and then there's awkward silences, which I feel like I have to fill. So yeah, I mean, that's something that we'll talk about tomorrow when we start to see if we want to try to add some video to the mix or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be fun to try. It might be fun to try. I feel like my character's really starting to come into his own. Definitely like the my dashing do, and I don't necessarily want to fight, but I'll fight, and if I have to, I can kind of hold my own a little bit. Yeah, it's I'm just kind of a misanthrope, right? Like I'm just kind of like I'm just like kind of a jerk. But I'll stick up for my party. I'll stick up for my friends. But I'm not necessarily a guy who's looking for a fight. I like to talk my way out of things. I like to gamble, which we haven't gotten into yet, but I want to try to explore that a little bit more.
That's on the docket, so don't worry.
Yeah, I need you to like send me some rules to read about how that all works.
I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to make it up as we go.
Okay, that sounds good. But
it's going to feel like I have it planned all along, but no.
Yeah. Now, I'm not the biggest D&D nerd in the world. But when I heard you say Castle Ravenloft as part of this, like Ravenloft has a pretty storied history in D&D.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this campaign is literally a reimagining of like the original Castle Ravenloft adventures for like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. And like there are just settings and themes in different fantasy worlds. And like in Dungeons and Dragons, like you've got Ravenloft, you have what's another good one there in Dungeons and Dragons? It's really
the big one is Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, Forgotten Realms is the big one.
Dragonlance, Gray. Yep, I think Forgotten Realms. Yeah.
Forgotten Realms and all that stuff.
That's Forgotten Realms is where all of those classic D&D computer games were set.
Right. And then like in Shadowrun, like you have like everything's mostly based in Seattle, but then like within Seattle, you've got like Renraku Ecology and like Shutdown and that whole campaign, which is just designed to make people not want to play that game anymore.
That's true.
And you got other settings, right? Like you've got Detroit in that game is pretty interesting.
Chicago.
That's like Chicago, Bug City, right? Yeah, Chicago's Bug City.
In the recent stuff, Boston got real weird too. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I played a campaign that was based in Denver.
Yeah.
Because of all the like the Ghostwalker stuff, and that was a really fun campaign. That was back when I was playing 3rd edition a while ago, and that was a really, really fun and really, really tough campaign.
Yeah.
But I mean, most Shadowrun campaigns do get a little hard towards the end, just because. Part of it is because the enemies can get really, really challenging because you're dealing with like firearms and magic, and some of the magic stuff is just like pretty overpowered, if I'm honest. And
yeah.
The way the mechanics work in that game too can be really unforgiving. Like here, roll a whole bunch of d6s. Good luck. Like,
that game is always focused on the crunch. Right, there was always so many little rules and pieces of gear that changed stuff. It was like I loved the Shadowrun setting, but the rules were always
problematic.
Problematic, confrontational at best.
Which we still, I think, are going to do a session on Shadowrun at some point. I think it's still on our docket.
Yeah, what we probably should do is, what we could do, since we're all stuck together, is we could probably do like just for S's and G's is maybe do like a one shot of, this new Shadowrun edition and see how it plays, and then report back and talk about it.
Yeah, it might be fun. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to have too much going on at the same time. But
yeah,
but it might not be a bad idea. Like actually create a character and go through it. That would be fun. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I'll look into that. I don't have the new rule book. I need to get it.
I have a PDF floating around here somewhere I can send to you. I think I do. I'm like 99% positive I do.
All right. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll figure that out. Maybe I'll look into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. That seems like a good place to end. Maybe 45 minutes ish.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's good. I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, you need to go to bed. All right. Where can people get us?
As always, you can find us on the internet at Doing Best Pod. That's on Twitter. Yeah, that's our Twitter handle. Our website is doingtheirbest.com. And you can reach me on Twitter at Paul Baylor, BAHLER. And where can we find you, Drew?
I'm on Twitter at Pitfurg, PITTFURG. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Woo! And on Twitch at Pitfurg as well.
Oh, yeah. If you want to see me play video games or code or do different things, I'm starting to do more and more out there. Feel free to drop in and say hello or tell me how awful I am. That's all good, too. All right, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe.
Take it easy. Stay safe.